Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this right here is Tom Clark's Main Event. What's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. Happy Friday to you. How's everybody doing out there today in pro wrestling land? Is that a thing, pro wrestling land? It is right now. I just got direct messaged. Let's see who it is. Chris Mueller from the Bleacher Report. So there you go. Kids, fingers crossed for the signal today. It's already looking like we might have some issues. I'm going to have to sell a kidney or something to get the money it's going to take to get this problem figured out. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, we're going to be ready. I promise you. Episode 300 as of right now, this moment will be next week. If I choose to move that season, I will let you know before it gets here. I promise. As of right now, we are looking at next week for episode 300. So there you have it. We shall see, as they say. How's everybody's week been, dude? I've been really good this week. I have zero complaints about anything at all. No need to complain. No one would care anyway. So it's all good. I'm repping the brand. As you can see, yes, I have coffee this time. I'm quite proud of myself. I was in the office today, right? And when I'm at office at home, I tend to not be ready because I spend all day in the chair, yes, just doing some work, getting my job done. But when I'm in the office away from home, then it occurs to me I need to be ready. I got to have this, got to have that. And coffee is one of the things. You would think that would be the case regardless, but it kind of is. So anyway, again, happy Friday to you. Before I start addressing comments, I want everybody here to smash the like button. Smash the like button and share the feed to your page. If you wouldn't mind doing so, that would be awesome. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for doing that. So yeah, if you'll do that for me, kids, that'd be greatly appreciated. That'd mean loads to me. And do that now for me, please. And let's start saying hello to some folks. Let's see who was at the table. Sandy in Germany. Guten Tag. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. He's telling me good morning, but it's good evening for him. Actually, it's 5 o'clock in the evening for me, Sandy. Good day to you, Will. I thank you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Sandy, I love your comment. Chad Too Bad is in the house, kids. Super Dave, how's it going? Ray all day, what's going on? B Mac, you know what? That may just have to be your name because I'm lazy. I'm doing well, Brendan. How are you? Sugar Shane Odom in the house. David down under, my family's great. My friend, hope yours is as well. Robbie, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Everyone wish Robbie a happy birthday. Vic, happy birthday. Vic Nash, what's going on? Firefly Funhouse, I can't wait. Watch, this is me not being able to contain myself and control my enthusiasm. Ready? Okay. I like Bray a lot. It's nothing against Bray. I love Bray. CRP, what's up, my friend? CRP is coming, I think, next week. That's tentatively scheduled next week for the episode 300. I will be sending you an invite, and hopefully you can make it. That would be fun. Rebecca, everyone's well here so far. Hope you are as well. Carlos Martinez back in his usual spot on the Facebook today. Glad to see you. Ray is kissing up as only Ray can do. So yeah, episode 300 it's gonna be fun. Ray, if you're serious, I may send you an invite. I'll get you on the show for a bit. Are you serious? Because if you're serious, I can make that happen. I'm in tight with the host. What a dumb joke. What a dumb joke. My brain's fried. I've been staring at the computer all day long, as is every day of my life. Thank you, my friend. I'm very happy. There's been a lot more that have done a lot more episodes than I have. However, there's a lot more, probably just as many, that aren't even close to 300. So I will take that. Congratulations, and I will thank you for it. And here's to 300 more. So yeah. What all we got going on yet? Jumping Jeff. Not at work today. Hey, man, that's the best thing. That's the best thing. Hey, you've been called B-Mac. Well, then I can't call you that. I want to call you something original. What's up, Tim? How you doing, man? Eric Jackson in the house. Ray, consider it done, my friend. Consider it done. Sandy, you'll appear. You know what? We may just have to fill the screen up with a bunch of fans. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Carla's got tickets for the Sunrise show in April. A-dub. Interesting. All right, let's get to the news. We got stuff about. I'm leading off with this man here, and now I got to find him. Here he is. How in the world did he end up there? Here we go. I'm putting this up on your screen. Where'd he go? There he is. Because it's news that has just recently broke. So here's what we're talking about. The Jeff Hardy situation looks like it might be wrapping up. I don't want to say wrapping up, but hopefully we have seen the worst of his driver's license suspended for 10 years of DUI cases. He will serve no jail time for his third DUI offense. He's very, very lucky in that regard. Yes, because to be honest with you, yikes. He's very lucky he's still with us. I think he would probably agree with that too. The case dates back to June of 2022, was closed on Thursday after he submitted a written plea of no content. I don't know. I guess anyway. Hardy's license will be suspended for the next decade. He will get 38 days credit for time served in county jails, part of a sentence. Nolo contendere is where a defendant agrees to accept punishment, but does not accept or deny responsibility for that in which they are charged. There you go. Pled not guilty and faced up to 5 years for the main charge, while the others were misdemeanors. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I don't know why we would ever need to. Here's what I will say about Mr. Hardy. You only get so many chances in the box. You only get so many chances in this life. And as someone who lost his father to a drunk driver when I was 4.5, and trust me, I'll be the age I'm going to march, and it's none of your business. I bear the scars of that, and I will for the rest of my days. This is why Tom is straight edge and has never took a drink of anything in his life, because I can't. Okay, don't look down on anybody that does. It's your life. Go with God, brother. But for me, I stay away, right? But as somebody who has lived through that and has lost someone to addiction, I can tell you it is the worst pain you can ever feel. So Jeff's a big boy. He's a grown man. He knows better. We all know that he knows better. And I'm not here to preach, but I will say this in wrapping up this tidbit of the show. I wish Jeff Hardy well. I'm glad he's still with us. I hope that this is, it's a weird thing to hope this for somebody, but I hope this was rock bottom. I hope this was it. Because I'd like to see him get better. I'd love to see him back in the ring. I think he will be eventually. The guy has the pro wrestling business in his blood. And let's face it, every time Jeff Hardy's on the card, he sells tickets. People love Jeff Hardy. 100% they love Jeff Hardy. I've said this multiple times through the years. Jeff Hardy could push a nun in front of a bus. You put him on TV the next night, he'll blow the roof off the joint. There's something about Jeff Hardy that people can't get enough of. And I can't explain it. I can't describe it. I can't tell you why that's the case. But there's something about Jeff. Jeff can stand on a stage and pop the house. He can stand still and not say a word. That's nothing you learn. That's nothing that you can do. That's not a skill. He didn't learn that in pro wrestling school. He didn't learn that on a trampoline in his dad's backyard. Undertaker didn't teach him that. You either have that or you don't. And those who have it, it's like Roddy Piper. It's that intangible. And listen, we can all rattle off 100 people, But the truth of the matter is, only so many people in this business have that intangible. Jeff Hardy has something. I can't put it into words. I don't know what it is. And don't try. Charisma, whatever. I don't. It's what you label it, whatever you want to. If you feel the need to label it, I can't label it because I don't know what he has. But Jeff has something that people just absolutely cannot get enough of him. And I'm envious of that. And every pro wrestler in the business, I'll tell you this, is envious of Jeff Hardy's ability to stand on a stage, do nothing, and pop the house. It's amazing. And they want to see him no matter what he does wrong. That's everybody should be so lucky. Everybody should be so lucky. Carlos says, do you seriously think he won't drive for 10 years? Baby, he's North Carolina. And I can tell you here, in North Carolina, they don't really give you much. They don't really give you much leeway on certain things. Yes. Can he appeal it? Maybe. If it's a year or two down the road, can he go through his lawyer? Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think he'll do anything anytime soon. And let's be honest, does Jeff Hardy even need to drive anywhere? I mean, he can Uber anywhere he needs to go. As for life on the road, you're Ubering back and forth to the airport, to hotels, to restaurants, to the building, to the arena, whatever that looks like. You know, I don't know that he even needs to worry about it. But that's just me talking. Maybe I'm dead wrong, and this is going to put a huge is going to put a huge dent in his routine. I have no idea. What surprise is coming for the 300th show? Well, Tim, you know what's coming. I've been teasing it for months. The Tom Clark's main event dancers. They're over there. They're waiting. They're hot. Hey, look. Look. Come on. You don't have to say anything. All you got to do is just look in the camera and go, come on. But, you know, that's all you got to do. You don't have to have a point. There's nothing to say here. I'm catching up on comments, kids. CRP says 10-year license suspension, off to rehab, back to feud with Punk 2. Nothing would really surprise me. Nothing would really surprise me. Brendan says that's wonderful news for him. Again, I think he would say that he's lucky he's still here. Rendell says if he was Jeff Hardy, the painter, he would be in jail. Maybe, Rendell. In the state of North Carolina, how much weight does Jeff Hardy being a celebrity professional wrestler have to do in this case? I can't answer that question. I'm not saying you're wrong. You may very well indeed be right. If Jeff Hardy were black, would we be talking about a guy that's back out? These are just questions. These are just questions. What's up, Charlotte? How are you? The Queen. Oh, my God, Charlotte, you're the Queen by default. That's your new nickname. You like it? I just gave it to you. Everybody in the family is good. I hope yours is, by the way. Ray all day says, I hope he gets his life right, and thank God nobody got hurt, but I'm having a hard time with DWI. I've had family members with addiction issues. Yeah, for sure. And, honestly, at this point in time, who has not been affected by alcoholism or addiction or something in some point, whether it was a friend or family member or cousin, uncle, aunt, whatever. CRP says he has a weird charisma, even in person, that is hard to describe. Cool dude. When I got to meet him, just stopped doing drugs and driving around. Handle your high. Yeah. You remember that in Pirates of the Caribbean, who is it? Will that's trying. What's his name? The character trying to describe Jack Sparrow, and he's like, "Is that like why he's all like?" And that's Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is Captain Jack Sparrow. There's something about him that kind of makes you want to stand next to him. There's something about him that you can't take your eyes off of. There's something about this, TNA started calling the enigmatic charisma or the charismatic enigma. There it is. I got it. And, for lack of a better term, he definitely is. I can't think of a better way to describe it. And Matt will tell you too. That Jeff absolutely has something that Matt doesn't understand. He grew up with him, but Matt sees it from a mile away. There's something there. Jeff would have risen to the top, probably anything he would have done. And by the way, he is a painter. He is an artist. If he had just been an artist, he would still be like that. I don't think pro wrestling brought that out in him. I could be wrong, but you look back at those old tapes, but when he and Matt were wearing matching outfits in WWE and there were nobody, he still had it. There was something, right? Please welcome Mr. Gary Benfield, the house owner, promoter of High Velocity Wrestling. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Tim says big week next week or next month. Adam Cole returning. Yeah. So kids, as we're going through the comments here, just tell me what you think about this. Are you good with Jeff? Does he owe you an apology? I mean, do you want to see him back in the ring? Are you fed up with him? Be honest. If he was on this show, what would you say to him? And be an adult and say, and not go low road with it. You know what I mean? Will said I suffered a DUI 10 years ago. That's all it took for my wake-up call. I think I had 10 drinks total since, and 6 of those drinks were on opening day of college football over those years. I was a mess before that. There you go. Will you learn, my friend? Good for you. CRP says, I just drink and Uber anything after like 2 drinks. We live in a world where driving around drunk is ultra. Yeah, it's always been stupid, but now it's highly unnecessary. There's no need to do it at all. If you got $20, you can Uber. Come on. You know what I mean? Everyone's telling me Money in the Bank is sold out. That's cool. Ray said it. I didn't say it. Jeff Hardy was black, he'd be under the jail. Honestly, you're probably right. Being rude and demanding I acknowledge him. Just back home from Denver, I saw someone literally fly off the highway and crash. And wow. Crazy. Brendan says, being a father, I know he is a father as well. Yep. He's got 2 kids, doesn't he? He should do this as a wake-up call for him and his family, get his life back in order. 100% agree. 100% agree. Rendell says, watching them grow up, I did get drawn to Jeff. Sandy said, Jeff is my favorite wrestler of all time. I would just about guarantee a whole lot of people agree as well. The Queen says Jeff needs to learn, look at his family, and realize this was a wake-up call. 100%. Pardon me. I'm sorry. That coffee does something to me. The boy's good, Ray. Thanks for asking. He tried out for baseball, did not make the team. It's the same coach as was the basketball team. I got opinions on that. They don't need to be aired here. I wasn't happy with the fact that he didn't make the team. I know my kid tries and hustles and does everything he can to succeed in everything he does. And the fact that he doesn't make a team in middle school. What are we talking about? Alma, how are you, my friend? Alma's got the flu. I hate to hear that. We have a guest star, kids. Been down here and say hello. Look at that mustache and beard happening. He's like 31 or something. I don't know what's going on. What are you doing down there?
Waiting for Daniel to get home.
Oh, okay. Everybody good? The animals. Yeah. All right. Don't let him in. I can't let animals in here, kids, because I got the green screen behind me. They'll go nuts with it. All right, kids. Let's see. You know what? He's got an opinion. I'm gonna put it up. Hate to say it, but Jeff is a cancer to wrestling. He shouldn't come back to the ring. He has to get help, or we will sadly see a tribute to him if he continues down this road. I don't know if I agree with you about the cancer part, but I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from for sure. It's you don't want to see a tribute show for Jeff Hardy because the worst happened. He's a Tar Heels fan because he's from North Carolina. And the fans in North Carolina, if they're pulling for the right team, pull for Carolina, Tim. I'm just playing. I know who you pull for. But it's okay. Yeah, I saw that, Vic. That'd be James Kimball, Senior VP of Talent. Yeah, I saw that. It's a $1 billion company, man. They're going to hire and fire as they see fit. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's the talent. It is what it is. Let's move on to the next topic. I want to talk a little bit here about Sami Zayn. There's been some what I would deem to be not fallout. Fallout's the wrong word. I've seen the word fallout used, but for my money, it's more discussion than anything else. The whole Sami Zayn thing that's going on in WWE. Well, he didn't beat Roman Reigns, Tom. I know he wasn't going to. Yeah, but Tom, blah, 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 blah. Anything can happen at any time, even in that company that a lot of times does very predictable things. Yes. Can we be honest? A lot of times they actually do. However, anything could have happened. Anything can happen in the future. They could put that belt on him in the fall of this year for all we know. I don't have any idea. No idea. But this thought, this notion that he should have went over against Roman Reigns, and then it could be Sami versus Cody at Mania. Let me ask you guys a question. In your heart of hearts, beast right now, what's a bigger match? Sami versus Cody, or Roman versus Cody? We know what the answer is, and it's okay to have an opinion. But the answer, the correct answer, is Roman versus Cody. There's more storyline to be written there. There's more of an angle. This thing's a year in the making. I mean, this is not Sami and Cody's WrestleMania main event. Now, I think Sami, I think the Bloodline feud is the best thing WWE's had going in years. I don't know what I'd even compare it to. I don't think it's a accident that it's the best thing WWE's had going in years, and it's got Paul Heyman attached to it. Look back at CM Punk's run as a heel when Heyman was attached to it. When Heyman attaches himself to something and is allowed to get involved in creative, amazing things tend to happen. And that's what's happening with the Bloodline thing. It is utterly fantastic. Sami Zayn has no business defending the WWE Championship against Cody at WrestleMania, in my opinion. It doesn't mean it couldn't work. It doesn't mean it wouldn't be great. It doesn't mean it wouldn't be awesome. And the truth is, tickets have already been selling for that event. You could put anybody in that match with Roman or with Cody. I could do it. Nobody care about it, but I can still do it. Right? It doesn't matter. But the fact of the matter is, there's just more of a story here with Roman and Cody. I'm bringing all that up to say this. Again, people act like they're shocked. It's shocking, is what it is. Again, the shock and awe idea of, okay, well, is Sami just a underdog? I saw that headline this week. Is Sami Zayn just an underdog and people just blah, 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 blah? All right. Yes. He's an underdog. Is he just an underdog? No. I can't believe that we don't know what this is. I can't believe that we don't know that this is who used to be Daniel Bryan and this is Becky Lynch all over again. I can't believe that we don't know. And to some extent, Zack Ryder. I can't believe that we don't know this. I'm stunned that we don't know this. When I read comments and I read fan stuff and I see whatever he said, I am amazed that we don't know this as a collective. We don't understand what this is. WWE didn't want Sami Zayn getting red hot. It happened. Why? The fans. Just like they didn't plan on doing anything with Daniel Bryan, but he got hot. Why? The fans. They didn't have any plans on putting Becky Lynch anywhere special, and certainly not winning 2 belts on the night of WrestleMania. Okay? But they had to. Why? The fans, because she got hot. Why? Because of the fans. Do you see a trend? They had no plans for Zack Ryder, and Zack Ryder got hot. You want to know why? The fans. Now, everyone I just mentioned was fully capable of making a run and doing it. Daniel and Becky did. Zack was never allowed to, and it's still BS, and I call BS on that. Will Sami be allowed to have a run? But talking about, yes, he's an underdog. I can't believe we're talking about this. It's the same thing they did with Kofi. I'm calling like I see it. Wrestling is about the fans. Because without the fans, the company doesn't make money. The promotion doesn't make money. They can have the best locker room on the planet. Without the fans supporting it, no one cares. You got to have the fans. 20 fans in your crowd, and that's all you can get. But you get the same 20 every week, and they're paying $20 a head, and that's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. But if you got a building that sits 500 people or to 1,000, and you're drawing 20 fans, there's a problem. Your expectations are too high. You're aiming a bit too high, yes? Or maybe you're not doing the work to fill down. It could be any number of things, okay? But the fans are what make this go round, right? This is unlike any other form of entertainment because to make a movie is expensive. Hear me out. To make a movie is expensive, no matter what size film you make. If you're filming a movie on your iPhone, okay, if you're filming an honest-to-God film not done on phones, okay, it's going to cost you a little bit of change. It could cost you $100 million, could cost you $100,000, could cost you 40 grand, I don't know. But if you're not going to make films unless someone can see them, it doesn't mean you'll make your money back, right? But like a studio is only going to put so much money into a director or into films that do not make any money. Pro wrestling is one of the only entities that I can think of off the top of my head that would still do this with no money. I've been to plenty of shows over the years with 20 fans. I've been a part of shows over the years with 20 fans. And some of those 20 fans were the wrestlers' husbands and wives. Truth. But yet, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen. With some of the best wrestling I've ever seen live in my life. What other type of business does that happen? Business, not sport. Business. Get it? It's very different from anything else you can ever imagine. Charlotte, have a good one, my friend. Thanks for hanging out. CRP says you should have just won the title and dropped it back on night 2 at Mania. You could have just had the nice moment and story and still got that match. The story was Rock versus Roman. Cody was playing as a backup. I still don't like it. For me, I still don't like it because there's no story with Sami and Cody. There's no story with Sami and anybody but Roman. And if you wanted to stretch this, if you wanted to stretch this out, then make it a triple threat at Mania with the 3 of them. There's no indication that's going to happen. I don't think that will happen. I appreciate your perspective. In my opinion, it's not the same. That's just me. Ray says Sami was great, but I'm sorry, in my opinion, he doesn't have that main event vibe. Cody just has it, but knowing WWE Roman will be champ for 500 more days. I don't know that I agree with you, Ray, but I respect your opinion. I think Sami's got it. Does Sami look like a superstar? For that money, does Bray Wyatt look like a superstar? If we're talking about physical appearances only, I don't know if he looks like a superstar or not. But you could also make the case that when Danielson had the long hair and the long beard, in WWE, that he didn't look like a superstar, but he absolutely was. But I get what you're saying. To each his own. In years past, what I've said, Sami Zayn is a future world champion. Maybe not. Because this business is not just about wrestling in the ring. You know that. It's about embracing your character, getting your character over, embracing who you are in the ring, and making it work in front of a crowd of people that knows you or have never seen you and still getting over. Yeah. Oh, my bad, Chris. I misunderstood. My apologies. Chris was saying he should have just won the title and dropped it back on a 2-night Mania. You could just have had just a nice moment and story and still got that match. The story was Rock versus Roman. Cody was, I'm sorry. I went back too far up. My apologies. Here you go. He would have won Elimination Chamber, dropped night 1 at Mania to Roman. Roman loses the second night. That would have been interesting. Right? That would have been interesting because it would have been the total decimation of bloodline at that point, technically speaking, because you could always look at that and say, well, not only did he lose again, but he lost twice in a matter of months. Whew. I think this thing's over. He's fatigued, if nothing else. He's exhausted. E with a interesting question about Jimmy Carter. If you're here at the end of the show, ask me that again during the open floor. Jumpin' Jeff, thanks for hanging out. Where'd you go? There we go. Sandy said Roman didn't lose because WWE didn't want to break his 900 day. Yeah, dude. Is he even going to lose to Cody? Stew on that for a moment while I take a sip. Is he going to lose to Cody? What if he does not? And we come out of Mania with the same champ we had going in. Think about that. Would any of you be surprised? Yeah, Bruno Royce. Bruno had it for like 7 years. Didn't he for real have it like 6 or 7 years? Oh, hazelnut cream all the way, Ray. Love that coffee. I make this hazelnut cream. No kidding. It's so good. We'll see what will happen. Speaking of Danielson, let's talk about MJF versus Bryan Danielson. I know something from you kids out there, and this is not meant to imply that it's not, okay? But is this the main event feud that you were hoping for with these two guys? Before you answer, I can do that. It's my show. I happen to believe that this thing is shaping up exactly the way I hoped it would. I think it's going wonderfully well so far. I think it's going great, actually. And I think there's a lot of good things to be said for Danielson versus MJF. I think it's top notch. I think that they're playing this out perfectly. I think that Danielson's ego on any other baby face would be construed as a heel persona, but against MJF, come on, you could dress up Jabba the Hutt as Danielson and he'd get over against MJF as a fiery white meat baby face. Am I right? That's the truth. And that's why it works against Maxwell. That's why it works, 100%. And the way Danielson looks in the camera and says, you know I can beat you. I'm going to expose you. Danielson is towing. Listen, if the Blackpool Combat Club is anything, it's a mindset. It's not William Regal. William Regal was the heart and soul of it. You could say he was, I guess, if you want. They don't need Regal to make this work, okay? Because the main intent of Blackpool Combat Club is we don't go for gimmicks. We don't do jokes. We're not here for ha. That's not who we are. When you step in the ropes with one of our guys, you are going to feel pain. And you're going to be out wrestled. You're going to be outmoved and outgunned. You won't be able to stoop to any depths to beat us because we'll already be there waiting on you. Get it? And that's what the BCC is. It's an absolute mindset. It's an absolute in-your-face, ground and pound, till death do us part type of wrestling match. And if you can't handle that, you have no business stepping between the ropes. And that's what MJF is stepping into with Danielson. It's who he stepped into with Mox as well. But this is a bit different. Okay? If he beats Danielson, it's going to take a world of help to do it, I believe. But I could be wrong. Vic says, I hope Danielson wins. And after the match, Switchblade Jay White shows up to challenge. That's a mouthful. Switchblade Jay White versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I'd pay your money to see that. Yikes. Hoorah. That's a match right there, baby. All day. That's a match. Tim says it's been a great storyline between MJF and Bryan Danielson. Every week they amaze me. E says MJF should have said, after I'm done with you, your kids will call me Tata. That's a WWE line, isn't it? Ray says MJF really broke up with his girlfriend, so it was crazy. He kept it so real. And honestly, if all that girlfriend stuff is true, and I don't care if you do it, it's his life. You would have to probably guess and say that there was a text or there was something like, hey, I'm going to do something on TV and I just want to let you know. Right? You know what I mean? Because who you see on TV is not the guy playing Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's not MJF. That's the character. We all know that, right? And it's best to keep them separate. Sandy, thank you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out, dude. Sugar Shane says MJF versus Bryan Danielson should be the undercard. Page versus Moxley. Page versus Mox. I disagree with that. I think your world championship has to be the main event. I know where you're coming from, but it's got to be the main event. Shree says, can't wait for the Dynamite after. Going to be there in Sacktown where Taz loves to go. Nice. Tim says, Rainmaker versus Danielson. Yeah, well, what was that interview Okada gave that time when he was talking about who he'd like to face? It was CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. Was that the only two he named? Was there a third? Seems like that was the only two, but I could be wrong. Look at you book Okada against anybody, I'll watch it. Yeah, 100%. Book Okada against Repo Man, I'd watch it. No disrespect to the late Barry Darsow. Barry Darsow is no longer with us, is he? I don't think he is. Is he? Someone look that up. Or also known as Demolition Smash, also known as Crusher Khrushchev. I don't think Barry Darso's with us any longer. I could be wrong. No disrespect. I'm just saying you could book that disparity of a champion versus contender, and I'd still watch it because I'd watch Okada do anything. I'd pay to see Okada read the phone book. Watch him do it. Brother, you said a mouthful. Okada versus Tanahashi, that Cali show, dude. They are two guys. They had a great match. Was it a year ago or so, I think? That was like under the radar, and it was excellent. Those two guys will always consistently. It's like Flair and Steamboat. Flair and Steamboat never had a bad match, right? It's kind of the same thing. Some matches will be better than others, but there's not a bad Okada and Tanahashi match. Vic says Jake the Snake returns tonight with Lance Archer. I love Jake. I don't know if it's the right fit for him. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah, well, like we just said, Okada versus the world. Okada versus anybody. Thank you, Rendell. I'd pronounced Barry Darsow dead. Reports of Barry Darsow's demise have been greatly exaggerated. One more. This is all I got. We're going to open the floor after that. Mercedes Mone, excuse me. How do we feel about the artist formerly known as Sasha Banks? Are we happy for her? I thought her match was excellent. I think she looks great. I think that she is in her element. I'm happy for her. I think that it's weird that people had, a hissy fit that Bailey was there in the building, and instead of at the chamber, it's her best friend. Are we that dumb? Let me tell you something about WWE diehards. Let me just tell you, they will live and die by that company, and they will never watch anything else. They'll only watch anything else to hate it. They'll only watch something else to hate it, and they won't follow anything else. Get that straight. They'll only watch clips of botches or whatever you want to call that. They'll only watch clips where someone gets their words tripped up or the move doesn't go as planned. They'll watch that just so they can rip on it and say, well, that AEW is not even number 2. They'll care about the ratings when the ratings go south, as AEW's has, right? Suddenly they have something to say about ratings. Because they are ride and die, WWE baby. No matter what happens, they will never leave that company's side. Ever. It's quite frankly weird. It's weird. It's not even dumb at this point. It's just weird. Like, you don't watch anything else? Like, nothing else? Like, it's okay if you don't. I don't care. But then, like, if you don't watch anything else and then you get on your high horse about what other companies are doing, isn't that a little weird? Isn't that just a little bit off balance, off kilter? I would suspect yes. So, I'm getting texted right now. Dude. So yeah, anyway, That's me soapboxing. I apologize. I just, that's me soapboxing. You know what I mean? Chris says, I'm happy was there for her. Same. Vic says, good for her. Same. Okada versus Ospreay, 100%. Chris says, smart by NJPW and Stardom. Stardom has been on fire. It's a good move if she's going to stick around for 6 months to a year in those companies. And you know what? If I were her, I wouldn't be in a rush to ever go back to that other company. They'll embrace her. They'll take her back with open arms. They'll give her a superstar treatment right off the red carpet, make it look like $1 million. Give her every vignette and video she's ever wanted. Give her any theme music she wants. Put any gear on her she wants to have. Give her any match she wants against any contender, against any champion. Put the belt on her within 2 weeks. Here's my question. When all that happens, as has happened for her in the past, what then? Because I'm going to tell you this, and this is no disrespect meant to Mercedes at all. Please don't take this the wrong way. If she were here, I'd say this to her as well. From a distance, as someone who knows not the backstage incidents between her and management, what she was told, what she and Bailey were told, what she and, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name. So many people's names to remember. Her partner, help me out here. Uso's wife. Oh my God, I'm blanking. Naomi, thank you. I got it. No matter what they were told, and we don't know what anybody was told. When a person leaves the company the same way twice, and she didn't leave the first time, but she almost did. We thought she had, but then leaves under the same sort of circumstances. There appears to be a pattern. I'm not saying there is. Perhaps not even my place to suggest that there is. And again, I speak from a place of ignorance, so let's get that straight now. But it appears to be a pattern developing, okay? And maybe, just maybe, that pattern is WWE. Maybe, just maybe, at some point, everything's great until it's not. Maybe, just maybe, life on the other side of the rainbow is beautiful until the clouds come in, and then it's not so beautiful. I won't speak for her, not my place to. She's a big girl. She can speak for herself. But we've seen this with other talent before, and then we don't get the full story until after they leave. And to my knowledge, Mercedes not done a tell-all podcast or wrote a tell-all book, because that would be dumb to do, because if you ever want to go back, see what I'm saying? There you go. Vic says, what's your thoughts on Orange Cassidy versus Yuta? I thought it was really, really good. Yuta was kind of being primed to win that match. It looked like he was going to be winning. I agree. CRP says, hopefully Triple H booking would be different, but she did turn down getting brought back, so who knows? Good move in general. Absolutely good move to bring her in, 100%. He says, did you read that Melina believes she should be inducted in the Hall of Fame this year in Hollywood? She wasn't all that good. Can I be honest with you, E? They should put you in the Hall of Fame, and me too. No disrespect to any talents who were happy and proud of that. That Hall of Fame is decided by one person, maybe now two, because Hunter's doing his thing. I've never been high on that Hall of Fame because, in my humble opinion, it doesn't mean anything. It means something to fans who care a lot about it and every year go, I can't believe he ain't getting the Hall of Fame, blah, 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 blah. But I spent a lot of years asking why, how come so-and-so has not been put in? That's kind of weird. Until I remembered again, blah, 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 it's not a real Hall of Fame. Fans aren't voting. Writers aren't voting. No one's voting. One dude calls it. So I don't get upset. She'll get in. Come on, bro. She'll get in. Are you kidding me? She'll get in. Coco Beware had a career before he ever got to WWE, and that gave him that freaking bird. Right? I don't begrudge anybody being in. Maybe some. A certain ex-commander in chief. Didn't they put him in? Jesus. Find me a brick to bash my head in with. I'll take care of that. Yeah, I mean, it's once you realize it doesn't mean anything, then it doesn't matter to you anymore. You know the girl that cheated on you? when you find out she didn't really love you to begin with, when you find out that she was talking to people behind your back and saying things like she didn't really feel much for you, when you find out these things, the breakup is suddenly not that bad anymore because you realize you've had your feelings invested in somebody that didn't really care about you to begin with. They were out for themselves, and that's kind of all they cared about. You were just an asset. You're a way they could have their bills paid, or you were a way they could get a birthday present that year, or you were a lifeline because they didn't have a guy around. It's suddenly a lot easier to take when you realize that that person didn't have any skin in the game, because then you can start letting go, right? Because you're not really holding on to somebody that was torn on whether or not to leave and to lie to you or whatever they did. You realize you're holding on to somebody that didn't really hold on to you at all. I have an easier time letting go of that. Did I just conjure up past memories of former relationships? It's entirely possible. That's what we do here on this show. We cover wrestling and we give life advice. What are the chances Mercedes Moné joins Sarray and Toni Storm versus Homegrown? Why not? Why not at this point? Sarray and I see. As a heel? Nah. I think they'd try to bring her in as something and then she would turn face on them. Or she'd be face anyway. I've thought about this. My own Hall of Fame for the show. I've legit thought about that. They got one for the Hall of F and Awesome. I like that. Kid, what time it is? What song is it you want to hear? Let's open the floor up, kids. We got 11 minutes. So let's just make it a free for all. Shane, would you ever do a CSM podcast special on Benoit? Lorenzo asked, I heard rumors going around that Kevin Sullivan comments on it. No. I have nothing to say about that person. Ray says, Heavy D or LL Cool J, and part 2, Lil Jon or Busta Rhymes. I will not choose between Lil Jon or Busta Rhymes, and you can't make me. So for the first time ever, I refuse to answer that question. I'll take both. I can't live in a world with no Lil Jon or Busta Rhymes, so that's not happening. I had to go both. Heavy D or LL Cool J. Oh my God, that's too hard. I don't know how you guys do this. That's too hard. That's too hard. I'll go LL Cool J. Memories of Jimmy Carter. Well, since I'm only 25, it's going to be hard to give you my memories of Jimmy Carter because I don't have any. Jimmy Carter, not a great president. Better humanitarian than he ever was president. I think that'll be what he's remembered for, is he was a better humanitarian than he was a commander-in-chief. Yeah. There we go. Not a question, but the Jarrett theme in 96 a banger. Ooh, gross, man. Get your tongue out of your head. Greatest wrestling theme. I mean, the first one that pops the head is Austin's because it evokes such emotion. It evokes such emotion. If you're saying the greatest one of all time, bar none, and this is the one, I'll say Stone Cold's. But if you're asking for personal favorites, The Brood is still a great song. I happen to love Okada's song. Gosh, there's just too many to name, honestly. There's just too many to name. I have a personal affinity for Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger because of Dusty. Rock and Roll is King by Electric Light Orchestra for the Rock and Roll Express. Yeah. There's 7 in my pocket always. But greatest of all time, if I had to be put on the spot, I'd say Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think Jay White come to me. Jay can do what he wants to. And if Jay wants to go there and make some money and put it in the bank, and then in 2-3 years down the road, go to somewhere else, he can do that. It's perfect fine. He called me and I said, it's fine. No. Do I want to see him there? I don't want to see him there, but that's Tom talking. Okay. I'd much rather see him in AEW, but if he has an itch to scratch and they throw the right amount of money at him, then he should go. Because at least that way you could say you did it. Kushida did it. Kushida did it because Kushida's thing was basically, this is the only thing I hadn't really done. Let me just go. And he did it, and he split after his contract was up, and it's all good. So if he wants to do it, he can do it. That's just my own personal opinion, baby. You asked me, I'm telling you. Nancy, you are so late. But that hair color is going to save you. I only give passes to people who are aesthetically pleasing. I'm just pretending. Not about your hair. Your hair is magnificent. CR piece of Jimmy Carter from Georgia. True. UFO sighting. True. And smoking weed on the roof of the White House with Willie Nelson. If you believe Willie Nelson's account of the man. So, Raw 2 weeks before Money in the Bank, Jay White prediction. Interesting. Cherie says, what is your favorite Marvel film? That's tough because you know I'm a Marvel guy, right? In fact, good time to plug the podcast, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. Bam! There you go. Love me some Marvel. I'm in the bag for that company no matter what they do. Hear that, everybody? This can change any given moment, but really my answer has been the same for a while now, and that's Black Panther. Number one, Black Panther. Oh, I missed it. Ray, I'm sorry I got wrapped up in the hip-hop question. Adam Cole coming to your house and inviting you to see the Ant-Man and see you could bring a friend. Could I come? Yes. And afterward, we're going to get coffee and a delicious muffin. Of course, especially if the muffin is delicious. Good call, Shane. Bad Street USA. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you get that song in your head, you ain't getting it out. Know that. Now it's in my head. It's never getting out. Robbie always hits me with the Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore of female wrestlers. I'll say Mildred Burke because you have to say Mildred Burke. Trish, that's 2. Mae Young. It's tough. I'll say Mildred as my old school. Trish is number 2. I guess you could throw Lita in there, perhaps. I think Natalya has to be up there. I don't know how you could have it without Natalya. I think she's that good. She's best that company has, sure. My opinion. Dude, the Mount Rushmore questions are never easy. You believe China should be in the Hall of Fame for women's wrestling? Do you really? Will says Lil Kim or Foxy Brown. I'll go Foxy, but I've never been a major fan of either one of them. But if I had to choose, I'd say Foxy Brown. I'm giving Natalya credit. All the credit in the world, dude. She deserves it. Oh, I'm not answering this. You ain't setting me up like this. He says Mount Rushmore of Tom Clark's main event viewers. I'm not touching that. I'm out. I'll leave that for you guys to argue about. To each his own, Derek. I can't say I was ever impressed with anything she did in the ring, but I don't necessarily have to be. She brought a spotlight to it for sure. For sure. Can't discount that. Can't discount how she transformed herself. And I'm not just talking about plastic surgery. I'm talking about in general, transformed herself. Do I believe that she was between the ropes a great wrestler? In my opinion, she wasn't. But you know, when you look like that and you're in the biggest pro wrestling company in the world, they've got to do something with you. If they don't, they're missing out. Right? I love Gail Kim, Nancy. I don't know if Gail Kim will ever get the credit she deserves, like from this podcaster who didn't even mention her. Well said. Well done. Ray says 6 on podcast, New Jet. Did you like that one? I enjoyed that. Me and Phil just did the Beatles Revolver. We did part 1 last week, part 2 this week because so we split it into 2 parts. Had a lot of fun with that. Next week we're going to do Paul is Dead. It's going to be the 2 of us and Nathan, our buddy Nathan. That should be a good show, fun show. Brandon says Mount Rushmore wrestling moments that made you enjoy being a fan. This won't be that hard. That's promo. The night that Nikita Koloff turned face with Dusty and became the Superpowers. I've rewatched that moment 2,000 times over the years. What?
I'm about to leave.
Leave with who? Nick. How do you keep talking to this kid? Is Daniel going too?
You gotta go to his mom's tonight.
Oh,
He's
okay.
gonna get his Xbox real quick.
Well, is Nick going to bring you home?
No, maybe not.
Find out.
I'll ask him.
Ask him. Nick ain't driving, kids. He's like 9. How old is Nick?
13.
He's 13.
14.
Let me know when you leave. Love you. Kids, what are you going to do? It's funny. He's going to the liquor store. I'll kick his ass out of my house. Did I just curse? Oh my God, I worked blue. I apologize. Did everybody catch that? That didn't happen. Break out the swear jar. Where was I? The pro wrestling moments that made me a fan. Made me the night that Daniel Bryan we should do a podcast on just moments. You know what? I think we'll do that. You know what? I think episode 300 will be wrestling moments. Next week will be episode 300 will be pro wrestling moments. We can talk about the show if you guys would like to, but we'll talk about our favorite. Who gave this to me? Who gave this? Who do I give credit to? Brendan, you're Brendan. You're a genius, Brendan. Awesome. What's the word that the Brits use? There's a word that Brits use. I work with some a few British guys in my workspace. Not genius. Legend. You're a legend. That's what it is. You're a legend, Brendan. What a great idea. Okay, back to it. I can do this all day. So the night that the Daniel Bryan then turned on Bray Wyatt in the steel cage. I think next to him winning the titles that year at Mania, this was by far the biggest moment that the Yes Movement ever had. And I bet one of the biggest moments of his career was that night in the cage. Do you remember when he stripped off the coveralls and he got in the corner and went, yes? And you could hear a pin drop. And all you heard was people screaming, yes. Chills. I'm such a nerd for this stuff, man. I nerd out over this. I really can't help myself. It's who I am. Okay. What a great moment. What a great time to be a fan. A great moment for him. Magic being made in that moment. There's other moments like that, similar that just fire you up and just make you. Remember the night that Austin came back to the company against Eric Bischoff? That was pretty special. There's moments that that just make me nerd out for this stuff, man. I was there that night that Punk had his first match, and it was in AEW. That was magic. As you can see, I was there. So that was magic. What a moment that was. Hooey. I know, right? Dude, yeah, see what I just did? Hey, man, when it comes to my kid, I get passionate. I know everybody went nuts. I love how everybody's because I'm always like, I'm the Steve Rogers of podcasting. Language, right? Kofi Mania. That's a good answer. It's a good answer. Ooh, well done, Vic. Best interest music was Black Sabbath's Iron Man for the Road Warriors. I'll buy that for $1. Kids, we're at the top of the hour. Let's get a couple more. We're going to call it a day. start our weekend. I'm very ready to start my weekend. Let me just tell you. I'm very ready to start my weekend, okay? Randall says, I've never been to MSG. Was that awesome? What else we got here? Come on, kids. If this is all we got, this is all we got. Somebody give me something. Robbie says, a moment stand televised. My got mooned by Ric Flair during a match when opponent, not sure who, tried to pin him. Awesome story. That's a great story. What about the night that the Rock and Roll Express beat the Russians for the tag team titles in the cage? And as a kid, I legit thought Ricky Morton was going to get killed. I thought they'll never get out of this cage. It's over, right? That was special. There's a lot of special moments. Yeah, I mean, the Brody tribute show, hard to watch. Very hard to watch. I'm happy to be a fan. Makes me proud to be a fan because you get to see real people being touched. And it means a lot. Do you know what I mean? Next week, Pro Wrestling Moments. Brandon, don't let me forget you were the guy to set that up because that's beautiful. Is that a moment for you, Ray, when HBK party through the and then put him through the plate glass window? Brandon says a huge Hogan fan. Well, no one's perfect, Brandon. When he came out and faced Rock, I'm just messing with you. That's a big moment, dude. That's a big moment. Vic says, do you think FTR will be in the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal on Dynamite? I'd love to see them. I don't think they're done yet. Not in that company. Sugar Shane says, how about the night Ric Flair came back from 6 months suspension from WCW? That's a big night. That's a big night. You are a scam. You're a cheat. You're a liar. You are a no good son of a, right? And people, you could see people in the background go like this, like the moment he said it. That's a great moment. I'll never forget that. That whole thing was improvised. I don't think, if I'm remembering this correctly, they didn't know what they were going to say. Bischoff just said, just go. He just said, go. Just talk. We'll play it off. And it was beautiful. It was perfect. That was a great moment. Flair came out with tears in his eyes. That was a nice moment. All right, stop it. You're going to screw us up for next week. Kids, it's 6:05. You know what that means? It's time to watch some NWA on WTBS. 6:05, baby. Let's get that done. One more, Cherie says her vote is Sasha at Mania for the SmackDown title. Well, excellent call. Excellent call. All right, kids, guess what? That's going to be it for us. We're going to get out of here and start our weekend. I want to tell everybody out there, thank you very much, as always, for watching. You guys are the best of all time. You're legends. I'm going to start using all the time now. Watch, wait and see. I appreciate all of you very much. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember to subscribe and download Tom Clark's 6M podcast. Do a search on any of your favorite platforms. I guarantee you'll find it. Tom Clark's 6M podcast. That stands for Movies, Music, Marvel, Magazines, Miniseries, and more. We just put out episode number 130. So in 170 weeks, we'll be sell a separate episode of 300. So hold on for another 170 weeks, kids. We'll be ready to go, right? Okay. Tom Clark's Main Event. This has been episode 299. I can't wait till next week. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. So, all right. We're going to get out of here, kids. Let's take that. I've been on this whole time. Gee, that's how much I'm not paying attention. It's so weird, man, because I get so wrapped up in the show. I don't know these things. I never have the name turned on anyway. Let's fix that. It's fixed. There we go. We'll pretend like it never happened. We're getting out of here, children. Thank you very much for watching. You guys are the best. Hope you have the best weekend. Go back and watch some wrestling. Get out in your hometown, watch some wrestling, make it happen. Be sure to tune in for episode 300. If it is not next Friday, I will be letting you know when it is, but I will let everybody here know. I'll keep you updated. Okay. So everybody hold on for that. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And we will see you next time. All right. Be good. Thanks, kids. We appreciate it. Everybody have a great one.